Hi. So I wanted to go over normalization a little bit with you. And the first thing that I want to say about normalization is that the purpose of it is just to have organized fields in tables. And it's a kind of a standard on how to set up your tables. And what I found is that um, teaching normalization in terms of first normal form, second normal form, third normal form has not been that successful to me. And the reason why is because when I've done research about it, everybody's got a different story. So one person will say it's this, and another person will say it's that. In the end, um, you still end up with the same thing, no matter if you label it this normal form or that normal form. You still end up with the same thing. So, what I've decided to do to teach my students is about normalization. And then when you go to a class that talks about normalization and your teacher talks about first normal form or second normal form or whatever, they can teach it their way and you can learn it that way, and then you can take the test and be successful on their test because you won't have heard it from me in a specific way. Um, like I said, the outcome is the same. You have your um, fields organized into certain tables in a certain way. But labeling them, this is first normal form or that's second normal form, everybody's got a different story, is what I found. So um, I decided to just let somebody else teach you those labels, and I'm going to teach you how just to normalize tables. And anyway, moving on. So we have a supplemental activity, um, which you're seeing as behind the my face, I guess. um, and so I'm going to go over it, and I'm not going to go over the whole activity, the concepts that are ingrained in this activity. Um, I'll go over more of them later in another video because I don't want this video to be too long. Um, and you have this week and next week to work on it. So I'm going to send me over the side. I thought I was. Let's see. No, now I'm hiding. Um, and I'm supposed to go. All right, let's try this. There, I'm over on the side. How about that? Okay. Anyway, so the purpose is to understand how to organize your fields and how to organize your fields into tables. And so anyway, I found this definition in Wikipedia. Database normalization, or simply normalization, is the process of organizing the columns, or which is also known as attributes, and tables, which are also known as relations, of a relational database to reduce data redundancy and improve data integrity. And that's really an important part, that last part, reduce data integrity. Reduce data redundancy and improve data integrity. Very important. We don't want users to have to record something in one place and then record it in another. So just to make you aware of that. All right, so let's see if I can move down here. Yes, I can. All right, and so if you're needing to know how to pull up this database in D2L, there's the instructions, and here's a link for more instructions. Okay, so this is the first concept that I want you to realize is that we want fields to be in their smallest pieces. So in this example, we've got full name, okay, and the problem with full name is that the last name and the first name are together. So if you ever wanted to sort by last name only, or last name then first name, I suppose last name comma first name wouldn't be too hard, but sorting, let's say, by first name would be a little bit difficult because it's not in its own field. So we break it down. So that's what this is talking about here, and I'll let you read it as well. And here's just showing you a query and how it would be difficult to sort by the first name. Okay? And you can read a little bit more. And here is an exercise, and I'll let you do that on your own. Okay, so here's the next topic. Okay, and once again, we're talking about putting data into its smallest pieces into a field. And you'll notice here, right here, we've got three different classes all together in one field. And so what we want to do is we want to break it up, okay, into separate fields. And many people would want to do something like this, where they say class 1, class 2, class 3, etc. And there is a problem with that. And the problem is let's say you're ordering something on Amazon. You could order infinite number of items on Amazon. Can you keep on adding item 1, item 2, item 3? It gets a little bit cumbersome and after a while impossible. So database design has a different way of doing things. And so what would happen instead in this example with the classes, okay, so I'm going to go back up here just really quick. Hope it doesn't make it too dizzy. And just remind you what we were looking at here, okay? And so instead of that, we'll come down here and you'll see that what we do instead is we break up the two tables, break up one table into two tables. And so that here we have a student ID, and then over here we have the student ID, but also we have the class ID. Okay, so we have these two together, and this becomes your primary key. Okay, so let's see, is there anything else I wanted to say about that? No, just that if you have multiple pieces of the same thing in one field, then you just need to break them up into two tables. And yeah, so you can read through all this. Okay. Here's another example where we have payments. We break it down to so that we have the ID and the name, and then we have an ID and the payments. And one of the things that I mentioned here is that it is a good idea when you're breaking up the payments to know, well, what was the payment for? And so I added payment type here so you would understand that. Okay. All right, so here is an exercise you can do, and another one you can do, and another one you can do. All right, going on to another topic. Okay, here we have, let's see, here we have a situation where we have tables that should probably be separated into two separate tables. Okay, this is a situation where we've got information about say a student or somebody. Okay, say a student ID, or well, actually in this case it's for passports, so a passport holder. And so what we would do here is we would break it up into two tables. And the reason for this is because this right here is data about passports, and this is just contact information. So what we can do then is bring it down here. We have contact data there and passport data there. Okay. And we link them together with the ID. Okay. So I think that one thing that you want to understand is that in this case, we have a one-to-one relationship. And all we're doing is just categorizing the data into separate tables just for organization purposes. Some people are like, well, why can't we put it all in one? I suppose you could, but the more fields that are in a table, sometimes the more cumbersome it can become and difficult to work with. So there are two examples. And then we come down here to this fourth concept, and I think this is the last one I'll go over. And that is a situation here. You can see where this information is repeating. See this? And then here you have the different classes. Okay? And so we've got repeating information this way. Okay? All across this way. And in this situation, what we would do is we would break it up into two tables, okay? So that we wouldn't have repeating information over here, and we would just link the tables via the student ID, okay? And so we would avoid that repeating situation, okay? So anyway, let's go back over what we just learned about. One was putting things, sorry, don't look at the screen right now. Okay, so the first thing was breaking things up into the smallest pieces. And you can think about that in terms of even numbers. For example, amount paid. You might want to, instead of having amount paid, you might want to have amount, that was paid before taxes, and then the taxes instead. So you break the amount paid up into two fields. So you have to think about your needs in your database. It's really important to think ahead about that. And here, once again, we have a situation where we have all of the our multiple entries in one field, and we need to break it down so that we have one data item within a field. And so you can go over that. And once again, you can read all this detailed information. There's lots of detailed information in here. Here's where you're categorizing your information and putting it into two tables because it's two different topics. And here's where you separate the data into two tables because this, it has repeating data in it. Okay, so anyway, that's as far as I'm going to go. And I do really encourage you to make sure that you start this this week. Don't wait till next week because you'll be really overloaded. And if you have any questions, of course, give me a ring or, an email. Thanks.